You have descriptive data in a table format, perhaps something like people accounts profiles or IoT device summaries. You ponder how to display it on your Grafana dashboard in a readable way, emphasizing the critical tidbits. With an open-source dynamic text panel, it is no doubt possible. Watch this video to find out how this stunning transformation works. Let's go! What is the dynamic text panel? It is an open-source plugin initially developed and supported by Markus Olsen. We adapted it recently, and now Volkov Labs fully maintains the dynamic text visualization panel. To install, go to the Configuration Plugins menu, start typing dynamic text, and then click Install. How does the dynamic text panel work? Let me add it to my dashboard by using this Add Panel button and selecting the Dynamic Text panel from the drop-down list of all installed visualization panels. Here is the place to pick a data source and write a query for your visualization panel. I choose PostgreSQL and specify Select All from the Users table. On top of the data source section, Grafana exhibits the extracted data. By default, the data is shown according to the selected visualization from the drop-down. Nothing is displayed if the panel is not yet configured, which is true in most cases. That's why I like to switch to a table view immediately. Table view displays the data in a columnar format regardless of the chosen visualization. Alright, the data flows and all is ready to set up the dynamic text panel visualization. On the right-hand side, I have two sets of panel settings. The first one, Panel Options, is standard for all Grafana panels. At this point, I care only about the title. Let it be Dynamic Text Example 1. The second set of parameters is called Dynamic Text. I have three things over here. The content text area is the place where all transformation magic happens. The set of commands in the content area is called a template. In any template, you will do two things: reference the data elements from your data frame and put together formatting instructions. How to reference the extracted data frame? Easy peasy. Use handlebars. Handlebars are double curly braces. In my data frame, I have first name column. Thus, if I write first name in curly braces and switch the table view toggle, here is what my visualization will look like. All first names are listed. This thin gray horizontal line is how the dynamic text panel splits the rows. The option renders template for every row is on. That's why I have three names in my visualization, all records from my database table. By turning this parameter off, I allow the dynamic text panel to get access to the entire data frame, which in that case is passed as an array. The name of this array is data. To reference one element, I need to specify the exact order number. For example, to reference the first element of the array, I use data.0. first name. To go over elements one by one, I need this construction. For instance, to display all first names, I write first name in between each clauses. BR is an HTML element instructing to start a new row. Let me display the results side by side. Here, the display of every element is controlled by the same template, meaning the same template repeats as many times as many rows my data frame has. And here, the template is applied only once for the entire data frame. The last parameter to cover is the default content text area. It holds the message displayed in case the data source is unavailable or nothing has been fetched. Now you know how to reference the data frame elements. The next question is, how does the formatting work? Formatting is possible via Markdown language and HTML. Markdown is an uncomplicated way to format text that looks the same on any device. It works with essentials like making a font bold or italic, creating lists or links, or inserting images. There is a fantastic web resource with all existing Markdown instructions. They even have a 10 minutes tutorial with adorable quizzes and try me's. HTML is more powerful in the formatting department. Let me quickly show you some examples. I create a new panel, choose the dynamic text panel and pick the PostgreSQL data source. My query is to select all from the users table. I switch to the table view to ensure the data flow and review the column names. On the right-hand side, I open the dynamic text section and drag down the bottom right corner of the content text area. My goal is to create a template for a personal information card. I do it by creating a table, 2 columns and 3 rows. In the second row, I want all 3 cells merged to display a photograph. To display an image, I insert the image HTML tag, and in the source, I reference the data frame element which contains the picture in the base64 format. And now is the time for some creativity. I play with fonts, sizes, and colors for the rest of the elements to create the design I like. How to make the design dynamic? In my example, I want the color for the statuses to depend on the value. Active, I want to be displayed in green color and not active in red color. For conditioning, I can use helpers. Those are the comments in the curly braces. Here I check the condition for equality and specify a different style for active and not active statuses. More helpers you can find here, the link in the description box below. Look for recipes as well. A recipe is a code snippet to copy and integrate into your code. Here is another example of how the dynamic text panel can format information about your IoT devices. I tried a lot with fonts, colors, spacing. The result looks much more readable than the data fetched in a table format. My last example displays the data frame as a whole. I connect it to the environment data source, which gives access to the device environment variables. I want to display variables related to Grafana paths. I start with the table, 2 rows and 2 columns. The first row of cells is merged to display the header. Then below in the second row, the first column shows all names using the each helper, and I display the values in the second cell utilizing the same each instruction. This is all I have for this video. As usual, I placed some excellent links in the description box down below. Let me know what you think about this plugin. Feel free to challenge us with your use case. Thanks for watching and see you next time!